Hi everyone, welcome to Adventures with Raven and Rowley. I'm Raven, this is Rowley. We are planning on going on a life-changing adventure and we're inviting you along. Find out why we're taking these trips, and even though there's a pandemic going on at this time, if you're curious, please join me and Rowley on this journey and continue to watch. I want you to know this is scary, okay? My problem is this. I live on Social Security, etc. About half of that is going to dry up in about 1.5 to 2 years. And then I'll have to figure out how to live on less than $800 a month. At that time, if I remain here, lot rent and the car would eat my entire income. Period. No insurance, no food, no whatever. So I'm planning ahead, and as I said, this is scary. There's always disease in the air. So my goal is to stay away from crowds of people. I don't really care for crowds of people anyway. And visit various places. I've always wanted to see the national parks. I'm going to go stay on BLM land. Bureau of Land Management, see the National Forest, stay in the National Forest, visit places of interest around this country. There are thousands of places, little towns, museums, mostly outdoor stuff. And I'm looking for land. A couple of acres that I can homestead on that has no restrictions, taxes are super low, that kind of stuff. I do not ever again want to see anything over an inch of snow in my life. So I'm not looking for land in the snow country. Okay, thank you very much. And, I'm talking 1, 2, 3, 5 acres. I can't handle anything more than that. I'm on a fixed income. I figured before I bought the fifth wheel that I'm living in, that I'd redo and outfit a 6x12 cargo trailer and tow it behind the car and go visit the national parks, live on BLM land, etc. So I bought one. Then I found out after I bought the 6x12 cargo trailer, that this park that I'm in doesn't allow homemade RVs. It has to have an RV manufacturer's sticker on it. Otherwise, you can't stay in this park. So I bought a fifth wheel, which is what I got here. And I put the cargo trailer in storage here. At that time, I had a car that the mechanic said not to drive more than a mile, and definitely don't drive it out of town. If I could get it repaired, I could have used it to pull the cargo trailer. But repairs were more than the car was worth. About a year later, I've been living in this fifth wheel, which is kind of nice. It's like a studio apartment, About a year later, I got a deal on a new car, small new car, Chevy Sonic. Fairly new, 2017. It's tiny. It's too small to pull the cargo trailer, much less the fifth wheel, I'd need a truck. So I said, okay, I need a truck. Of course, I only got this car like 4 months ago, May. And it's now, what is this, October. So I went over to the dealership. If you don't ask, you don't get, And I figure if you're sitting in no already, you might get a yes, So I went over to talk to the dealership. And I asked them, look, I just bought this car. I don't think I've put 200 miles on it. Is it possible to trade it for an SUV or a small truck or a cargo truck or something else. Um, anyway, the answer was no. I said, well, okay, hey. And so he was very, very, very apologetic, told me to come back in 14 months, which would be just about the time that I will have to act on whatever it is that I'm planning now. I've got to have it year and a half to 2 years. That's all the time I got. So in a year and a half, I could go and trade it in for something else that would be possibly more useful to me, or who knows, I might not even need to trade anything in at that time. So, which means no, you got to use a different strategy. Okay. So, I've got choices. Most involve moving around in a vehicle of some sort, such as car camping or car and tent camping. I don't see any reason to look for and purchase a teardrop or something tiny that my tiny car could pull, because I'll end up with the car, the teardrop, the 6x12 trailer, and the fifth wheel. I can only pull one at a time. Um, Plus, it's more money, and all it does is provide me with a bed, and a kitchen, which I may or may not need. Right? So anyway, so right now I'm looking at car camping, possibly going to the future into car and tent camping. I don't want to spend the money right now if I don't even know if I like it or not. I mean, I've never really gone camping at all. you know. I mean, when I was a kid, I was in the Fresh Air Fund, and we did one summer of camping, and that's about it. And the nice thing about camping in the car is I won't be spending a whole lot of money. So the money that I pay for lot rent here, I can save towards the land that I want to buy. Because as I'm living now, I can't save. And in a year and a half to 2 years, I need some kind of savings. I need some kind of choices, some kind of movement, some kind of something. Okay. The thing about camping in the car is that it's the least amount of money for me to start camping. For startup, I can lock the door, I can turn on the air conditioner or the heat, and I can feel secure going to sleep. I mean, how many times have I fallen asleep in a car before when somebody else was driving? Also, I'm beginning to think that my migraines are caused by mold, and the car is mold free. I think I was reviewing about migraines again. I happened to see a video about mold, and I did not realize that mold causes migraines. It's particularly houses that have had water damage. I only remember one house of the 13, 14, 15 moves I've made that did not have water damage. Even when I was a kid living in the housing projects in New York City, my mother's apartment got flooded out regularly. Anytime somebody upstairs left the water on or whatever, and it went down through the pipes, came right into her apartment, and we'd wake up in the morning with an inch of water. So everything was moldy. And I've been having headaches, migraines since I was a kid. And over the years, people have said to me, what is your trigger? Is it chocolate, cheese, whatever? No, it's not. I've never been able to find. I thought maybe it's the weather. The barometric pressure goes up and down, that kind of stuff. I think it's mold. And so I think I have the opportunity, because I'd be in the car that doesn't have water damage, doesn't have mold, that I should feel a lot better. And this is a real good experiment to find out if it is mold. Of course, I could always go and ask my doctor for testing and all of that kind of stuff, but I still have to find out what it's like to sleep in the car. you know. So anyway, I'm thinking too that I can join a women's caravan and travel up and down the West Coast. I suppose there are caravans on the East Coast, but I don't know for sure. I know there are on the West Coast. They live in the national forests and they for free. And you have to move every 4 days at least 25 miles. So you go from one national forest to the next and back again, you know. I could bank some big bucks that way. I mean, I'd only have to move the car every 14 days, and during that 14-day move, I could stop wherever and pick up groceries or whatever for the next 14 days. I could save a half of my month's income by doing this. And I could get to see things like Big Ben and Big Ben. Slow. I could see things like the Grand Canyon um, and the various national parks and, you know, things like that. Good stuff. I could travel. I could meet people. I mean, I'm not really a people person, but it's nice to talk to people every now and then. Anyway, I could save half a month's income. By then, maybe I could trade my car for a truck. Well, he said come back in 14 months for a truck or a van or an SUV that could pull the cargo trailer, or a truck that could pull the fifth wheel and keep or sell the cargo trailer or whatever. Or I could find a piece of land. If I found a piece of land, I could put the cargo trailer for storage, make it into a mini studio apartment for friends to visit, a room for meditation and prayer. If I keep the fifth wheel, keep it to live in. I mean, why build a house? It's already here, you know what I mean? And just keep the car for driving around. That kind of sounds best to me. Then I can homestead, you know. I could grow whatever. I don't know that I would raise goats again, though. Although they are just wonderful people. At this point, I intend to convert the cargo trailer during this 1.5 years and bank as much money as I can. So I want to outfit it like a small RV. You know, it should have a bed and a toilet and kitchen and all that kind of stuff. So if it comes to the end of these 2 years, the 1.5 years to 2 years, and I'm still wandering the roads, I could put everything into the cargo trailer and continue to store it here and maybe sell the fifth wheel or keep it and store it here along with the cargo trailer and come back every 6 months to live here for the winter. I could spend the summer chasing 70 degrees, or I could go car camping until I find the right property to settle on. Or I could change my mind about all of it depending upon the opportunities that show up. So you can see that right now things are pretty close to being up in the air, except that I know for sure I cannot get a truck right now. Okay, I'll have to wait 14 months on that. Okay, so that's cool. So what I need to do then is to outfit the car. Now I've found that if I put the back seat down and put my feet down into the trunk, that space is exactly 6 feet if I push the front passenger seat forward. So I'm going to head over to Home Depot at some point and get some boards and put it in there. I think that I could make a bed 24 inches wide by 6 feet long and be quite comfortable in there. So I've been working on drawing a diagram of what goes where in the car when, and measuring everything to make sure of whatever, you know. So I'm working on that. I'm planning on that, and getting things together. I found that I've already got solar panels. I forgot that I had solar panels, the suitcase style, and I have a small Jackery generator. I've got a bunch of different kinds of battery thingies. This one is solar. This one is just regularly plug it in and recharge it. I mean, I could recharge this one from the Jackery, which is solar powered. So I have enough solar power to ride around in my car and charge my laptop and keep my phone together and anything else that I want, except that I can't use things like the Instant Pot. Not that I would, but So I've looked at acreage up in northern Nevada and over into Arizona. Some of them like 2¼ acres, $1 down, and $125 a month. The problem is it's too far north. They get 3 feet of snow per year. Okay, that's in northern Nevada. And I saw one in Arizona that doesn't get snow. But the problem with both of them is that the owners of the property who are selling it want you to build a conventional house within 18 months with a sewer and electric hookup. You also have to dig your own well. And you have to dig your own well. I don't see any reason for any of that. So I'm looking for a piece of property that has no restrictions, low taxes. No restrictions, okay? I'd probably build another yurt. And I'll put a picture of one that I built before. Solar panels, rainwater catchment, along with composting toilet, which I use now. I have a composting toilet in this rig because the black tank somehow or other got stopped up. We've never been able to clear it. I called in different companies that specialize in this kind of stuff. They could not unblock it. So we just siphoned out everything, washed it out, cleaned it out, siphoned it out again, and closed it up. And I've been using a composting toilet. Doesn't smell. I wouldn't know. The only time I know is that it gets full. So it said, ooh, I better empty that, right? So anyway, I'm still looking for land. I like the Southwest, Nevada. I also have been looking at Texas and particularly also at West Virginia. I don't know about the bugs, snakes, and things like that. But I figure, at some point I can drive out that way and take a look. See if it's any place that really says, yeah, you got to be here, Anyway, that's where I'm at now, and it's really comfortable here. But I've got an itch to see something else anyway. So I can't see me spending the next 25 years of my life sitting, okay? I have sat for far too many of them now, which is why my hips look like they do today. At this time, I can't see me staying in an RV park for the rest of my life, even if it is a 5-star resort, okay? I just can't see it. Then there's Rowley. He doesn't have any choices, But I think he'll be happier with more things to smell and explore, with a lot of chances to possibly get off leash. His life has been rough. And I think my life has been rough. I think it's time for fun for the both of us. So although this is seriously scary, I'm going to try it every step, I'm going to go sleep in my car for 2 nights, maybe over at the casino parking lot or Walmart parking lot, just to see what it's like to sleep in the car, and then maybe take a 2-day trip out to Red Rock Mountain or Laurel Canyon or someplace, or out, who knows, somewhere, or that kind of thing, or just drive and boondock on some BLM land for a couple of days to see what it's like. And at that point, I can make a decision, well, yeah, a tent would be handy, or I feel safe, or I don't feel safe, or this is insane, or not, and go from there. So, along with my camera and phone, which also has a pretty good camera, I'm going to go out and see the world and record my thoughts and adventures along the way. I hope you join me and Rowley. Okay? So please subscribe to The Adventures with Raven and Rowley and share, like, and ring the notification bell. And don't forget to click Show More to see the links in the description below. Okay? Blessed be. You have a great day.